A warm welcome to everyone who joined our session today to learn about the unfolding of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, its foundation, and its future, all under the topic AI in 4IR, looking back and looking forward. Active IEEE member Dr. Damayanthi Herath, who is a senior lecturer at the Department of Computer Engineering, University of Peradeniya, will be our honored speaker today for this tech talk. She expertises in the fields of computer engineering, machine learning, and computational biology, and her avid research interests are in explainable AI, computer vision, machine learning, and omics data analysis. She is passionate about exploring innovative ways for education, including educational entertainment methods, or rather edutainment. Dr. Damayanthi has earned her Bachelor of Science honors degree in computer engineering from the University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka, and her PhD from Melbourne School of Engineering, the University of Melbourne, Australia. Furthermore, she is currently leading the Data Engineering and Research Group and the Computational Biology Group at Peradeniya. It is more than clear that Dr. Damayanthi is one of the most perfect speakers today to honor IEEE WIE Day, as well as to give her valuable insights on this intriguing topic of AI in 4IR. So without further delay, we hand over the session to you, Doctor.
Yes, thank you for that lovely introduction. Good morning. Can you hear me? How are you?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
So have we met before, the ones in the audience? Have we met before? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe few of us have met.
Okay, all right. So nice to meet you again then. So I'll start the session. And first of all, before going to the session, thank you so much, the IEEE WIE Affinity Group of University of Jaffna, for inviting me to this talk, which is, I learned that is to celebrate the IEEE WI Day. So they have announced a certain period which will be ending from tomorrow. And so this talk is part of that. So thank you for considering me and inviting me. And also, thank you for joining the talk just before the lunch. Probably you are hungry as well as, so the idea is, because it's going to be a lecture prior to the lunch, I am hoping to have like a good discussion with you and maybe really share some insights around this topic, AI in 4IR, because I think you might be already familiar with some of technologies around artificial intelligence, and also you might be familiar with what Industry 4.0 or 4IR is. So maybe my talk is not going to be quite technical one, but I would like to give some insights and maybe discuss some concepts around this topic. So let me start. All right, so this is where I am from, University of Peradeniya, and at the moment, my view is different to you. I'm coming from a hill country, and this is what I am seeing from the window. So I wanted to share that nice view with you. And before going into the session, I want to learn a bit of you. So I would appreciate if you could go to menti.com and answer. I have 3 questions there for you. If you go to menti.com and enter this code and answer those couple of questions that I have there for you. Yeah. So the first question I have for you is, what is the tool that you use most during the day? It can be anything. So it relates with what takes the majority of your time. So I can get an understanding about what is your lifestyle. So how is your lifestyle in general? So what is the tool that you use most during the day? I see some interesting answers. Pen, water bottle, Photoshop. Mobile phone stands out, and Visual Studio Code. Yeah, some programming course going on these days, probably. water bottle, laptop, phone. So as we can see, a lot of you consider the mobile phone is one of the tools that we are using most during the day, and we also see some other tools like some are mentioning about books, water bottle, television, things like that as well. Okay, so this is the next question. Do you have your own smartphone? It sounds like maybe a silly question to ask people who are born maybe after 2000. But let's see. So the question is, do you have your own smartphone? Do you have your own smartphone? Now, I would like you to pay attention to the term smart. Do you have your own smartphone? Okay, so at least there are some, it's not at least still zero. There are some people who don't own their own smartphone, but it looks like majority of you have a smartphone. So what I'm seeing is if you, most of your lifestyle surrounds around the mobile phone. And also at the same time, as you can see, if you look at your class, most of you are having a smartphone. And the next question is, what questions do you have relevant to AI and Industry 4.0? What questions do you have relevant to AI and Industry 4.0? It could be nothing, and that's okay. But if there's anything in particular that you would like us to discuss today, you can just type it in. So it's like I'm taking the Q&A at the beginning. Yeah, so I have a couple of responses. The standing out, what is Industry 4.0? I think that is one question we have to answer. The other thing is around the question, will AI be very challenging for humans? Or what is going to happen in the future? Is the AI going to take over us? And there's also a question regarding big data analytics, maybe what it is. Is there really privacy in the modern AI world, or will there be? Yes. How to learn prompt engineering fastly. So that is also there. Yes. So first of all, thank you for those responses. You have been a very interactive audience so far. So please keep that. And it's really helpful for a speaker. And yeah. Okay, now I have some understanding about what you are after to learn from this session. Share again. So with that, some understanding about, okay, who are the people in our audience? What sort of, how does your friends look like in the class? And also what are the questions they have on this session, on this particular topic, AI and the fourth industrial revolution or the Industry 4.0. Let us go into the session. I would like you to pay some attention into the picture that I have here. As you can see here, here is an AI, and also this is a man who is looking into AI, and surrounding the AI are some concepts or topics that we usually talk in AI. All that, what they are, we are going to look into in this session. So I titled this session as Looking Back and Looking Forward. And there are two things I should mention before starting the session. One is I was told that I can ask questions from you, and they are going to reward you if you answer those questions. So during this session, we have around 40 minutes left for us. So it's a short time. So during this time, as I go in this presentation, I will ask some questions from you, 3 questions. And what you have to do is maybe you can do hands up. And if you answer that question, I think the organizers that are over there, they are going to give you a gift. Whoever answers that question, that's one thing. And the other thing is, actually, when I accepted this talk, I was kind of selfish, and I'm going to ask you in return to me. So I will tell you what that is at the end of the session. So far, am I making sense? I can see you if you're not. Or like this, I can see you. So far, am I making sense? Okay, I will skip my introduction because it was already given. Yeah, so, but my details, contact details, everything can be found from this short URL, bit.ly/Damayanthi H. So I will leave it there. So in this session, I'm hoping to discuss what is Industry 4.0, right? So yeah, in this presentation, I'm going to discuss about what is fourth industrial revolution, and I will try to define what is artificial intelligence is, and we'll discuss some key contributions in artificial intelligence, but also we will look into some key people behind these contributions. And then we'll try to answer some of the questions around moving ahead, what's going to happen, what is next. And right, so this is the first question. What is this? What is that? Any answers? What is this? So whoever answers can win a gift. You can make a guess. What is this? I will let Nirbika handle that. So what is it? Maybe you can make a guess. So if you see this sign, it means if you answer that question, you will get a gift. So the first question is, what do you think this is? You can make a guess. So you see some like the cylinder here, and there is
atmospheric steam engine, the first engine they make in the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, that is correct. So well done. So that is correct. So yes, this is the steam engine, as was told. This is the trigger of the first industrial revolution. So, and this is where we are now. If somebody asks me, I saw this over social media, sell me this pen. Now, what every company, like most of the people now, what they say is it's AI powered. So from how did we get from this first industrial revolution to where we are now, where we are talking a lot about AI and similar concepts. So that will be the focus of our talk today. As was correctly mentioned, this is the first invention. This was the invention, the steam engine that triggered the first industrial revolution. And I will share a short story here. So the first industrial revolution, after the invention of, maybe it's like a key invention, but there would be some inventions around that as well. So a steam engine led to the path of automating some of the duties that human did at that time through what we call as mechanization. Or the idea is we started creating machines instead of trying to do it by ourselves. For example, to plow a field during that time, maybe we could develop a machine. So that led to the first industrial revolution because a lot of industries went through an automation process. After that happened the second industrial revolution. And the key invention that triggered the second industrial revolution is said to be electricity. Electricity, which allows us to further automate these processes. we could have factories in large scale because of the electricity. And this is termed as the second industrial revolution. And then we come to the third industrial revolution, again talking about automation. The idea is automation through computers. Okay, now we have built machines, and then by using electricity, we could scale it up. Now we could have large number of factories, but still there were a lot of human input involved. In the third industrial revolution, what we looked at was the use of these what we call as computer processors, or we call it programmable logic arrays, the technologies at that time, or essentially use of computers to automate further. So then we saw that things like large scale, we know the large scale, the first computer and then the desktop computers. It's all about computing, automation through computing. At the same time, we also had, during the third industrial revolution, internet. So the computers connected in a network. And then we are coming to the fourth industrial revolution. As you might have already noticed, we are always talking about automation. And during each of these revolutions, what we are looking at is automating further. So steam engine, electricity, then the computing machines, the computers, and then next, the fourth industrial revolution, or the Industry 4.0, refers to the most recent technologies, these advanced technologies in information technologies, ICT, and manufacturing, if that makes sense. So what does that mean? So at the moment, Industry 4.0, or the fourth industrial revolution, it refers to a term of couple of technologies, not one technologies. And here are them. So when we talk about Industry 4.0 or fourth industrial revolution, we talk about additive manufacturing. So this is where we talk about 3D printing. And also someone asked about it, big data. So the idea is storing and processing large amount of data. And then we talk about cloud computing. The idea of cloud computing is without, for example, maybe during the third industrial revolution, during that time, the idea was we have a bunch of computers connected to each other, but maybe running on premises at our place. But cloud computing enabled us to not to limit into resources at our place. Instead, now we can connect with remote servers, a better infrastructure, and we can do computing. So that is what cloud computing is about. And also, in Industry 4.0, compared to third industrial revolution, we talked about augmented and virtual reality. Idea is we can use even smartphones and smart devices where we can give almost a real world sort of an experience via these devices. So here I take a moment while I ask you the question about whether you are using a smartphone or not. So if you are using a smartphone at the moment, you are living in the Industry 4.0. Maybe if you ask your grandmother, she might not know, or grandfather, they might not know about smartphones. It's a very, very new concept. So the smartphones became popularized after around 2011. And if you look at your smartphone, that is powered by a bunch of these technologies, things like big data, cloud computing, rest I'll go later. And another key concept in Industry 4.0 is the Internet of Things. What does that mean? As it says, it's Internet of Things. So the things like devices that can be connected to each other, they can be connected to each other, Internet of Things. So and also we talk about in Industry 4.0, of course, we talk about robotics, like robots. And we also talk about artificial intelligence. So what is the role of AI in this Industry 4.0? That is what my talk is going to be about. But in a summary, if you look at Industry 4.0 compared to third industry revolution, the idea is, so we had computers and we have done certain automation, but in Industry 4.0, we are talking about more connected devices, connected computers, and also we are talking about decentralized devices. The idea of decentralized devices is they can act on their own. They can make decisions and they can perform actions on their own rather than having a central point giving them instructions. So maybe during the talk, you might get a better idea of what does this mean. And also, again, we are talking about automated systems. And the other thing is, through Industry 4.0, we are talking about real-time systems compared to the Industry 3.0. So it's like humans, we as humans has taken a step further in terms of automation, in terms of automating the task that we do. And I wanted to specifically touch upon this term, cyber-physical systems under Industry 4.0, because it is, because I was thinking for a computer science audience, computer engineering audience, this would be of a lot of, we can very easily relate to it. So, so there are some other technologies that we had to talk in Industry 4.0, but I think cyber-physical systems enable us to understand a lot about what this Industry 4.0 is about. So this is actually here, what we're talking about is a fusion of physical, digital, and biological systems. So we are trying to bring together both physical, digital, and biological systems together as much as possible. So we can do, especially we can automate manufacturing processes. This is where, that is why the industry term is there, of course. At the end of the day, what we're looking at is automation and automating these manufacturing processes. So cyber-physical systems mainly refer to the fusion between physical, digital, and biological systems. So what does that mean? Let us take an example. Before going to an example, we'll just stop there for a moment and let me go into the other key term in our talk today. That is artificial intelligence. So I will not go deep into a history of artificial intelligence, but if you want a definition of artificial intelligence, one definition we can go to is the definition given by Professor John McCarthy in the Dartmouth conference in 1950 or so, where they got together and they talked about this emerging field, artificial intelligence. And so he defines it as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. So as I say always, so this definition is very, very simple, but the complexity comes from what do you mean by intelligence? What does it mean to be intelligence? Maybe if you look at around 100 years before, intelligence is different to what you would call intelligence today. But in general terms, intelligence refers to being able to perform actions in a complex as well as an uncertain environment. So that is what intelligence means. So that is why you are intelligent. You can perform in a complex environment as well as you as in us, the humans. And we can also perform in uncertain environments. When you come across a very new environment, you'll be able to perform these desired tasks still with a decent performance. So, okay, this is my next question. Name one disruptive AI technology that you are aware of. One disruptive AI technology that you are aware of. So this icon says that if you answer that question, you will get a gift. One AI technology that is very common, popular, you hear it all the time, or maybe it seems to be changing the world at the moment.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. So what is the AI technology behind that? Are you aware?
Generative AI.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. So ChatGPT, we'll take it as an answer. That's correct. Of course, we all know how much disruptive it has been. So we all are using it at the moment. And the technology behind is generative AI. So I introduced, or we defined what AI is, but there are different ways we can achieve artificial intelligence. And here is a picture of it. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about, of course, we talk about this term, field, machine learning. We talk about robotics. We talk about automation systems. We talk about cognitive computing. That is to understand, how does a human think? What is the thought process of a human? We talk about expert systems, planning systems, but at the moment, a majority of artificial intelligence is taken over by machine learning and natural language processing tasks. And in natural language processing, we talk about machine translation, question answering, sentiment analysis, things like that. And this is where a tool like ChatGPT would come into the picture. And generative AI, of course, is again another natural language processing technique, and it's done through this technology called large language models. And in machine learning also, we have so in the artificial intelligence, machine learning is also another way of, at the end of the day, what we want is to make intelligent machines, and machine learning is one of the ways to achieve that objective, to make intelligent machines. And the idea of machine learning is to learn from the data. So that is a key term. Maybe we have to pay attention to. We are trying to learn from data. So machine learning is defined as if a computer or a program performs a particular task, let's say let's say maybe a natural language processing task or an image processing task. And if its performance improves through the time, we call it as it's learning. So this is the key idea or the key concepts behind machine learning. So how do we enable a machine to learn, a machine to perform well on a certain task? So the key idea in machine learning is, let us show it data, some historical data, or maybe large amount of gathered data as much as possible, so that by looking at the data, maybe through some techniques, it will learn to perform well at a particular task. That task can be like question answering. That task can be translation. But how we enable the machine to do that or perform better in that task is by supplying data. And in machine learning, we talk about, so there are different techniques again, reinforcement learning, unsupervised learning. And also we talk about deep learning. So if we want to, if I want to reiterate that story I'm saying here, so what we want is, we want the machine to be better, get better and better as the time on a certain task. And how do we do that? By showing it data. And there are different techniques it can learn to perform that task. And these are those different techniques. But at the moment, deep learning stands out. How many of you have heard the term deep learning? Can you raise a hand? Heard the term deep learning? But how many of you have heard the term of maybe semi-supervised learning? So in the audience, of course, we would see that the term deep learning stands out. So what does it mean to, what is meant by deep learning? So we'll talk about that. Before that, I would like to touch upon this. Now, as we can see, artificial intelligence revolves a lot around the data. And Industry 4.0 is also, as we see here, these technologies, maybe in information technologies or in the manufacturing technologies, now they are generating large amount of data. And here is the AI that can perform very well if it can seize large amount of data. So it seems like there can be a very good synergy between Industry 4.0 and AI. Right. So talking about deep learning, this picture is coming from Time 100 AI. So Time used to publish this times 100, but I think they did a special issue on Time 100 AI, focusing on the people who contributed to the field, artificial intelligence. And I'm going to pick up one particular person from this group of people to talk about deep learning, and that is Fei Li. So if you look at the history of artificial intelligence and deep learning, the idea of deep learning is we are performing machine learning with neural networks of large number of layers. So that is what it means. And Fei Li, and in deep learning, an area that is where deep learning is applied very much is the computer vision. So we can talk we can identify different areas where AI is applied. One is computer vision. So basically working with images, visual images, so visual data. So when it comes to image recognition or computer vision, Fei Li's contribution stands out. And this also tells that, I think you can relate it with, of course, the connection between data and AI. So Fei Li was an associate professor in around 2009. And at that time, people had very little attention to computer vision and neural networks because of, they thought that, no, we can't, it's not a problem that we can solve. And Fei Li noticed that there is an already developed data set for text called, I think it's WordNet, where they have arranged these words in ontological order. And she envisioned, she thought that, okay, if we could have an image attached to all the words that are in that WordNet, maybe we can have a large amount of, a data set of large number of images. And it sounded like a crazy idea, but she could materialize it. And how did she materialize it is, if you actually try to in 2009, they released 12 million images, annotated images, that mean labeled images. And if you use one human to do that, it is said to take 22 years. But how she work around it is they use crowdsourcing. So they use this Amazon platform to crowdsource people, and they ask people to supply annotated images. And by 2009, they had 12 million of annotated images. And then Jeffrey Hinton, another person, is very well known in deep learning. After they introduced the ImageNet, they introduced the ImageNet challenge. So the idea is you have to come up with models that can very well learn the images in this ImageNet dataset. And in around 2012, this particular architecture called a neural network architecture called AlexNet won this challenge with a very good margin. So this was the birth of where they showed. This was the birth of deep learning, where they showed that, okay, we can perform deep learning. Actually, how they did it was by using a couple of GPUs. At that time, we had limited computing power, but the power came through this image data set. And And now we see how deep learning and computer vision is applied across different industries, adapting Industry 4.0. So, right. Once we have such models like AlexNet, this is what we can do. For example, in here now, after, if you fast forward few years after, people like us even will be looking at how we can use images and use neural networks to do disease identification in neural networks. And then now we have students developing projects, how that can be incorporated into a hydroponic system where you will have plants being grown and you can monitor and alert the people when there is a certain issue. But how does it really look like? Let us quickly watch a video. So this is a real example of Industry 4.0. As I said, a cyber-physical system where we are merging the physical system, maybe a robot, here maybe it's a man, a physical system, and digital system, the sensors that are measuring certain nutrient values of the plants, and the physical, digital, and the biological system, here a human. So instead of here, if we had a robot maybe to operate on these, it will be like a perfect cyber-physical system, a fusion of physical, digital, and biological systems. So this is a good example of cyber-physical systems. And what AI can do from things like computer vision or deep learning is to enhance it further and make it more efficient and automate further, of course. And also, here is again some other work here we are doing at Peradeniya, again a demonstration of a cyber-physical system where we are trying to develop a smart beehive monitoring system. So the idea is we can use sensors to monitor the behaviors of the bees so that we can alert the farmers accordingly. Now, as you can see, this also integrates a lot of technologies around cyber-physical systems like Internet of Things. At the same time, we are using computer vision to identify certain actions of bees. So all in all, this is a summary. AI in fourth industrial revolution. Artificial intelligence plays a very key role in fourth industrial revolution or Industry 4.0. For the main reason being, artificial intelligence at the moment relies a lot on the data, and it can do very well if it has a lot of data. And Industry 4.0, as a result of Industry 4.0, for example, as a result of you using smartphones, we are getting now large amount of data. So it's like now they are both ways collaborating with each other, improving each other. Does that make sense? But does that answer your question on what is Industry 4.0 and how the role AI is playing in Industry 4.0? If you have some idea, can you please raise your hand? Industry 4.0, what it is and what is the role AI is playing in Industry 4.0? Can you please raise hand? If you have some idea. So I see some hands, so thank you for that. And if I show you back that picture I had, so here, the picture I had. So here, actually what I wanted to depict here is, at the moment, through data, we are actually have created a digital world. In Industry 4.0, we have created a digital world. Like we are getting data from mobile phones, self-driving cars, maybe some factories, or agriculture farms, etc. But now AI have become a sensor to that digital world for us. Like how we see from our eyes, how we smell from our nose, or how we taste from our tongue. We need a sensor to this digital world. And AI is acting as a sensor to that digital world. This, yes, so actually, I must acknowledge Professor Damayanthi Herath for giving me that very good that insight of picturing AI as a sensor to the digital world. And next, we are going to the. All right, now we have some understanding about what is Industry 4.0 and what is AI and what is the role it's playing in Industry 4.0. We are coming to the last part of our lecture. This is the interesting part. We have to think, okay, where do we go from here? Which I call as looking forward. Okay. Now here is an example, an interesting story. This apparently came in this article. And now this is a picture of a passport, maybe photo verification system. Again, automated. And they have developed a system where you can upload an image and it is supposed to be, identify whether the person is closing eyes. But if the person is closing eyes, usually we are asked to re-upload that image. And in this case, as you can see, for this particular person, it's giving an error message saying, the photo you want to upload does not meet our criteria because subject eyes are closed. So I hope it's okay that I'm using this image in this restricted audience. Otherwise, we usually don't use images like this on presentations. But yeah, so going back to what I was discussing, so it says subject eyes are closed while it is not closed. So this actually brings forward one critical limitation or something we have to look into in terms of artificial intelligence. So can you identify what is happening here? So some image recognition must have been programmed or is being done here. But however, that doesn't identify a person with a certain ethnicity. So that is what is happening. So this algorithm that they are running here is biased towards a certain set of people of certain set of ethnicity. So this is what is happening here. Again, I wanted to share this with you. Okay. These statistics are coming from 2023. As a world, how we are, and as Sri Lanka, how we are. Now we have close to 8 billion people. In Sri Lanka, we have close to 21 million people. And if we look at our mobile phone connections in Sri Lanka, in the world, unique mobile phone users is close to 5 billion. But in Sri Lanka, we have mobile phone connections, 31 million. But it doesn't say whether it's unique or not, but we have 31 million connections. We have 10 million internet users out of our 20 million population in Sri Lanka, our country. We have 10 million internet users and active social media users, 6 million. This is actually kind of replicates well with when I ask you the question, are you using a smartphone? Almost 100% of the audience had a smartphone at the moment. But at the same time, if you look at these statistics on digital growth, These statistics are coming from the data portal website. If you want to look at it, it's from the data portal. And if you look at the digital growth of Sri Lanka, in terms of the digital growth, the unique mobile phone users, it's 3.2% growth over the compared to the last year, and only 1.9% growth compared to the last year. I think, especially because you are a university community, I was very happy to have this discussion or deliver this talk, because you are the young blood of our nation. So I think it's very critical and it's very important that we are also aware of where do we stand as a country, as well as where do we stand as a world in terms of AI and fourth Industry 4.0. Okay, those are some statistics. At the same time, this is another interesting statistics. In terms of the computer literacy, that is ability to use a computer, these statistics are coming from around 2020. So at that point, our computer literacy is at a 30%. But if you look at our general literacy, ability to read and write, it's very high for Sri Lanka. But if you look at the computer literacy, it's seemingly low. We have to pay attention. This is before COVID-19. During COVID-19, we saw a huge expansion of these technologies, and people like you got a lot into internet, but this number might have increased now. But it would be good to know what is the latest number. And if you compare the digital literacy of us, that is ability to access, find, analyze this information on the internet, it's less than 50%. Okay, going forward, here's another statistics or things would be important to look at. Of course, you can look at what are the global trends. I could have shared that as well. But I wanted to specifically look with you at how does our employment going to look at in the future. So it turns out that this picture shows Sri Lankan occupations that are most and least susceptible to computerization. So there was a question asking, will AI replace us, or things like that. But if you look at what happened after they invented steam engine, we'll answer that question later. So in terms of the computerization, one can say, because of Industry 4.0, we are going to see some changes in employments, the occupations. It turns out people like CEOs, health professionals, science and engineering professionals, maybe good, they rank in like there's 7% of risk being, their risk is less of being replaced, but there is a huge risk for people doing numerical and material recording clerks, sales workers, market-oriented skilled agricultural workers, customer services clerks with things like generative AI. Of course, they are going to have a huge risk. They are more susceptible to losing their jobs. So as graduates, so as university students, I think it's as university people in the university, I think it's also important we pay attention to these. And okay, with such an understanding about the statistics and what is going to happen in the occupations, what can we do about it? Of course, there will be, when there's a revolution, an industry revolution happens, of course, there will be a change of occupation. But that's going to be a change of occupation, not really a replacement of occupation. Maybe a steam engine replaced having 10 people plowing the field, because we could have a tractor to plow the field. But of course, there would have been alternative occupations created for those people. We need to have. And so in that sense, we will have to think about, with relevance to what I showed, that image recognition algorithm, we are talking about fair, accessible, interpretable, and reproducible AI, fair AI. Please have a look at what it is, because it's very, very important. We have an understanding about that. So how do we implement fair AI systems? So now I think we are able to develop decently performing AI systems. But how do we make it fair? The other thing is, how do we enhance the employability of the people now that we are talking about Industry 4.0? And the other thing is, how do we empower our underrepresented communities, people who do not have access to these technologies? How can we empower these people? So these are the things that we have to consider going forward in terms of AI and Industry 4.0. Now, question I'm asking is, I told you that I'm going to ask you a huge favor, that is whether you can do it. And I think, yes, you can do it. Looking forward, you will have to look into how you can implement, learn how to implement fair AI systems and look into, enhance employability and also look into empowering underrepresented communities. So this is my last question for the gift. A little bit of thinking is needed here. Identify one key area, a community around you. Maybe you can just think about your own self, your own community that would require help, and how can we help them? Maybe that would require help in terms of navigating Industry 4.0 as well as the advancements AI is bringing into Industry 4.0. So think about one key area or one community that would require help. And please answer that question and you will get a gift.
So, ma'am, is this the last question? So, this question, you need to, so the gift will be double, right? So, if you answer, the gift will be double.
That's great.
We can help home nursing area and home nursing with AI powered cameras and devices.
Okay. Home nursing area, what do you mean by that?
Elderly people, alone people who have medical emergency, medical issues,
Okay.
stayed in their homes. If we
Right.
have any kind of emergency, we can use AI to analyze and monitor them.
Okay. We'll accept it as like, I think it deserves a gift. So we can give the gift or the double gift to him. But yes, that's a very good answer. So let's consider we want to help the people who are alone, who doesn't have someone to help. I think that is the idea. And but a key thing that we'll have to pay attention to is this. So if you really want to use AI and Industry 4.0 to help them, maybe as a computer science student, it won't be hard for you. You'll be able to implement an AI-enabled system using cloud technologies, big data, and connecting with doctors and IoT system using AI to support them. But the real question comes from here. We have to be very, very aware and be empathetic towards them and identify, okay, how much digital literacy do they really have? Are they able to access this information? Are they able to even use a smartphone? So if your solution, if it is something that they cannot use, there is no, it's not going to be effective. It's not going to be beneficial. So that I would like you to pay attention to, and I would like, in fact, you to go home with that message. And
Ma'am,
we will.
yes, ma'am. So, shall we give the gift now?
I'm going to finish in 2 minutes.
So, just it, ma'am.
Sorry?
Uh,
Say it again.
Just we wanted to have a minute to give the gift. We were not able to give it.
Okay. Sorry, I can't see. Yes.
Yeah, we just wait for that, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, so, all right. Okay, so far we were talking about Industry 4.0 and AI, but here is a noise for you. Here's a news for you. At the moment, although we are talking about Industry 4.0, we are actually now reaching Industry 5.0. So that also we have to remember. So it said that all the other revolutions like 1, 2, 3, we learned it after it happened. Okay, steam engine was invented and this happened. And after that, we termed it as industrial revolution. But it turns out Industry 4.0 got termed as Industry 4.0 while it was happening. It's not ended, it's still happening, but we are talking about it compared to other three revolutions. But at the same time, now we are talking about Industry 5.0. Actually, it is because of, you can see how fast human as a species is evolving. We are progressing very, very fast. So these are the, so it's also, I think, important that you look into about Industry 5.0. I think now you would have good understanding about Industry 4.0 and you are learning the subjects around it. But it's also important that we are aware that Industry 5.0 is coming, where we are talking more about, again, more automation, but human-machine collaboration. We talk about sustainability, resilience, social responsibility, and also in terms of the benefits, we are looking at increased job satisfaction, improved safety, and reduce environmental impact compared to Industry 4.0, where we want to reduce cost, improve quality, and faster time to market. As you can see, now we are trying to make it automate. At the same time, we are trying to make it more human, more humane. So maybe that is why UNESCO had this message. The three basic pillars of any education system used to be reading, writing, arithmetic, and we have done very good job with it. But now we will have to add empathy, creativity, and critical thinking. So UNESCO is even recommending that these skills now must be included in school curricula as artificial intelligence become part of our societies, as AI become part of Industry 4.0, as AI becomes a part of Industry 5.0. So I would like you to think that with respect to the example that we discussed here. And yeah, so here are some references. I was thinking maybe it's good that you keep up to date about what is happening in terms of our economy as a society, how we are progressing as a world, as Sri Lanka. And also, this is a way, maybe a good book to read. It's like a philosophical book. It's not a really technical book coming from this historian, Yuval Harari, on like Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. There are some sequels coming to it as well, where he discusses about how we, as humans, how we progressed in a philosophical perspective. I think it's also important for a computer science or a computer engineering graduate also to learn about the philosophies behind these different concepts. How did they come into being? And with that, I wind up my talk, and thank you so much for listening and being so interactive audience. I hope now you have some idea about, a good idea about what is artificial intelligence, what is Industry 4.0, and the role AI is playing in Industry 4.0, and also what is going to happen next. And I would appreciate if you have any feedback. I would highly appreciate if you can share that feedback through this short link, bit.ly/WIE Day 24, so that it will help me to improve these discussions in what I'll be doing in the future. Okay, with that, I'll wind up my talk, and thank you so much. But if there are any thoughts, maybe we can have time to listen.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the IEEE Women in Engineering Student Branch Affinity Group of the University of Jaffna, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker today, Dr. Damayanthi Herath, for sharing her insights with us. Dear Madam, your comprehensive understanding about the evolution, current state, and the future prospects of artificial intelligence has undoubtedly enlightened us all, and we deeply appreciate the time, effort, and expertise you generously shared with us. And it's your efforts that have made this celebration of IEEE WIE 2024 a memorable one for us. Dear Madam, please accept this virtual token of appreciation we have prepared as a small gesture of our gratitude towards you. And I would also like to extend our warm thank you to all of you who took time to join us today. And congratulations to all the participants who participated in the quiz. And thank you for making our session an interactive and an enjoyable one. Thank you once again and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much. Are you happy? Are you happy? And ready for your lunch?
Yes, ma'am.
You also have some food for thought, I hope. You can discuss over your lunch. But you can have actual food now. Have a good day. Thank you, everyone.
Ma'am, the minute, can you stay for just 1 more minute so that we can capture a pic together? We are planning
Yes.
to have our audience also on the stage and take a pic with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for accepting our invitation and joining with us.